Hey guys, it's Hey Sophia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a beginner's ravine house. So this is a really easy house to build that you can extend and even make into a ravine city. So I have found this ravine here which is quite a good size. We're going to be building at the more pointier end of the ravine today. So you can either replicate me and build at the pointier end, or you can just build wherever in the ravine. It will really work just fine. The first thing you want to do is look for the edge. You'll see that ravines have these edges here. They've got a couple on this one, but we're going to find one that we want to build on as a pathway and just remove about 3-4 blocks back. You just want to be really random with this. The thing I find about ravines is that the more rustic and like old they look, the better. So you don't want it to be perfect, you just want to be removing whatever makes it wide enough for a path. Some areas you want a little wider, some areas you don't, and I find that makes your build look the best. So once we've done, we're then going to focus on making an entrance to the surface. So I'm going to be building a staircase for my entrance. I know some people like to do just a ladder up to the surface, which is completely fine, but in my build today I'm actually going to focus on having a little stables downstairs as well. So just a little area for like the sheep or anything like that. Please excuse the advancement things as well popping up on screen. Now for my little entrance, I'm going to try and make it look like a ruins, like a really old structure. So I'm going to replace these blocks here with cobblestone for the staircase. And then around the entrance and in the staircase itself, I'm going to be placing a bunch of blocks just in a random shape to look like they were there, but they're not there anymore. So I'm just going to use cobblestone, stone bricks, some staircases as well, and some slabs. So I sped up and just finished my decorating, and I think that's looking good. You can also continue the decorating throughout the ravine if you like, but we're now going to focus on doing the little horsey stable. Now this you can also keep sheep in here, you could keep llamas, anything you like. Just change the structure to keep what you need. So I'm going to remove back a little bit, so I've got this little square room here, and then I'm going to go ahead and replace the floors with grass just so it looks a little bit more natural and I suppose softer on your little animals' feet. But this is a beginner's house, so only use what materials you have. The same goes for the entrance area. If you don't have stone brick or you don't have enough coal to be turning the stone in this ravine into stone brick, you can just use all cobblestone or andesite and like cobblestone staircases and build that way. So I've made some lights now, and I'm just going to place a fence and some gates. This is pretty much your horse stable. The last things I'm going to be doing today is just making a little water trough. So for that I'm going to be using the brewing stands, the cauldrons. But you can also just make a hole in the ground and put some water in there. And then final thing is just some grass for our little animals to eat. But there we go. So that is basically your little stable area, and we're now going to focus on some more decorations in the ravine and the house. So the first thing we're going to do is trying to build like a little bridge. So you just want to figure out a nice square place near the entrance, and you just want to kind of build on that. I'm just making mine a little bit wider. Like I said, the more rusticy the better, but I want a little bit more space near my little bridge. And then I'm going to be using the oak fence posts around the whole way, but we're going to be making it look a little bit more rusticy and a little bit more different by adding in a variety of blocks to this. So I'm going to be using cobblestone, some like stone brick. I'm also going to be adding some cobblestone walls and just making it patchy along the whole way. I find this adds a little bit more character to your build than just a plain staircase. But because it's a ravine, it also gives it that old kind of temple-y look, that old ruins look, so that's what I'm going for today. So you just want to play around until you have something nice. You can use whatever blocks you like. If you have a certain theme going, go for that. And I'm just going to finish off by trimming underneath a little bit, just with some cobblestone staircases. But now that that is done, we're going to focus on the bridge. So I'm going to be using just the spruce slabs for this one, and you're going to want to be getting a hanging look. So I just like to go 2 down, and then I do a middle flat section, and that makes a really easy bridge for you. I'm now just going to do some of the fence decorations on the other side as well. Now that those decorations are done, we're going to start focusing on the house now. I'm going to choose a edge, like a little end here. Now I'm going to be doing a big square and kind of building my ravine house in the actual ravine itself, and also in the wall structure of the ravine. Now you can build your ravine house however you like. I'm going to be using some spruce wood here, just 4 blocks high from the base, and then I'm going to be going down in a really random pattern. Now you could build your house completely in the cliffside. You don't have to be doing this floating idea at all if you can't do that. You could maybe do a bunch of these houses all floating. You could do a house that's completely floating and just support it with like a spruce little slab structure. I'm going for the idea that the house is in the cliffside but also hanging over the ravine. So when we get to the bottom of the house, you'll see that I kind of like make a point out of it. I make a point down into the cliffside to give it that support structure look. I'm just doing a little roof trimming here with some slabs and stone brick, but we'll go back into that more later. And we'll also be building into ravine a little bit here. I'm just going to be building a really small house today because the focus is more on showing you guys what you can do for ravine houses and stuff like that. You can make this really big. The good thing about ravines is they do have a lot of cave structures in them, so if you can actually build this against a cave structure, you could even utilize the cave as your hallway and then build little walls off the actual cave structure. So that's a really good way to build as well in a ravine. I'm just using some grey wool blocks for some carpet today, just something really simple and easy. I'm also going to make a dig out down the bottom here for another little room. So maybe you would want to have a bedroom down the bottom and then have your chests and all your storage up the top. It's completely up to you what you'd like to do for your house. I'm just going to more focus on actually building the house and not what I'm going to be putting in it today. Now for the base of my house and the exteriors, I'm going to be really just using a mismatch of blocks again to try and get through that rusticy feeling, but it also works out for you because you can use just whatever materials you have available. You could use just cobblestone staircases and cobblestone blocks and andesite. I'm also going to be throwing a little bit of spruce into here, some cobblestone walls as well. You just really want to be playing around with it and making it look kind of messy in a way, and I find that you'll get the best effect out of doing that. But you can see how it's got that pointed down feeling, like it's coming to a point against the cliff, and that's what gives it that support structure look. I'm going to be using the grey glass paneling for my windows today and making a little cut off there as well. So that way we're just going to be separating the floors, and I might put some spruce down here as well. And then for our second story, I'm going to be using some of the spruce wood and also the glass panes as well. But just mixing it up with a mix of the staircases and the full blocks. And then finally, to finish off the house, we're just going to add a little roof overhang just with some stone brick slabs, like so. And that is pretty much your house done. I'm going to add a few more details to the inside of mine, just like a little door area here, which I'm just going to use some of the spruce wood. Just something really messy, and then I'll also add a little support structure inside the house as well. Now I think in houses like this you can just leave the walls as stone because you're building into the ravine. I think it also adds a little bit of character to your house. Don't worry about making houses like this perfect. I find that when I build houses in a biome like this, I like to just build with the biome itself, and I find things like this will look really good. So that's pretty much your house done now. We're going to add a little bit more detail just with some oak underneath for just a little bit of a trim. And then finally, the last kind of things we're going to be adding is just some plants. Now, because ravines are quite grey, it kind of washes out the house a little bit. So to bring it a little bit more alive, I'm simply going to be using some of the oak leaves, but you can use birch leaves or whatever you have near you and just kind of trail them down the cliffs and over the house. You just want to be doing this like really messy and kind of coming to a point like this, and make them overgrow up the top a little bit if you can. That makes them look like a bush and then they're hanging over. You can also cut into like the roof structure of your house and even fence posts and things like that to make it look like they're completely overtaking something. I'm just going to add a few more of these. And then the last thing is we're going to simply add some of the large ferns and rose bushes as well. Again, you can use whatever blocks that you have near you. I'm just trying to add a little bit of color. You could also use small flowers if that's all you have, because that's completely fine. This is a beginner's house and it's all about just using what you have. And I'll also quickly add some more lights to the area as well. You don't want mobs spawning in our house. But there you go, there is how to build a really easy and really simple beginner's house for a ravine with only a few materials. You can really see the difference it makes, but like always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, bye!